Hi, my friend. It's Pat Sloan here for the fourth block in our summer soiree. It's a free sew along. We have our twinkle lights. We know where we're going. We have a guest list, but now we have to invite those people. So our block today is all about the invite. How you get to tell people to come to your party sets the stage for the whole event. So first, let me just tell you about the block. And then I have a little bit more. So I have it set up as mostly half square triangles and a couple of squares. You have a background. You could do this in just two colors, where this black would be the same as the background. You could do it so that all of those blue fabrics are different fabrics instead of using one fabric. You can make this your own by playing around with the layout and how you want the colors to be. So when you do an invite, it sort of tells people what to expect. It could be playful, it could be very traditional, it could be fancy, it could be very casual. You know, nowadays, most of the time you're probably inviting people by doing either emails or an invite service online where it sends out an invite, an e-invite to everybody. But back in the day, when it was only paper, you can still do that. I think it would be so much fun to mail a bunch of invites or drop them off. Let's say it's for your coworkers. You could drop them off on their desk, you know, something like that. Your neighbors, you could put it on their door, tie it to their door. Just have fun with it. So a story of mine, my favorite invite experience. I didn't get to go to this, by the way, but I lived in Belgium, and we were in Brussels, and Brussels are where all the embassies are. So the kids in my school, we often got sort of a call for help from from the embassies that would say, you know, is there anybody here who wants to do this? You know, you might have gone to help cater a party, or you might have gone to do something at the embassy that needed a bunch of more hands. And so one time they sent out a call for help that if anybody wanted to come and handwrite invitations. So I did with a couple of my girlfriends. It was the best experience. You know, I don't think they paid us. They just bought us, made us a nice fancy lunch, and we got to go into the embassy and we got to hang out. And I believe it was either Ambassador Firestone or Ambassador Rumsfeld. One of the two. I don't know which year I went because they were both ambassadors while I was there. But that was a really fun experience. All right, also today I was looking through the Whiskey in a Teacup book for, you know, what sort of, there's a lot of things in here that are about the parties, but there's lots of other parts of this book that are just touching my soul. They are just so cool. And the section that I enjoyed reading this week was about her grandfather. So Reese writes a lot about, she goes, I've talked in this book an awful lot about my grandmother. But here is a section that talks about her grandfather and what he did, and his love of tinkering in the garden and the plants, and how that all, translates into her love of what she does and how she would hang out with her grandfather as a little girl. So I think that that's a beautiful section to read. It got me thinking a lot about my grandfathers, who are both wonderful men, and I miss them dearly. My pop-pop and my pappy. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about picking colors for this. Plus, I cut all these shapes with my Baby Go, so I'm going to show you that. I want to show you the selection process I went through to get to the fabrics in the You're Invited block, the invitations. So what you saw was what I ended up with, but I tried a lot of different combinations because this fabric line has a lot of options in it, and here, I'll turn it around this way. So it has a lot of options, and a lot of them are lights. That just is the way it was designed. So I wanted to bring in a little bit of gray and took a look at that. This has, I think, enough contrast, but I can do better. It's a bit blendy. I think once it went in here, it would just be way too blendy. So if I wanted to use this one that is more open, I could go with this low contrast, which has a lot more definition against them, so that these triangles won't disappear. There we go. Let's do this. So triangles won't disappear. But we can do better. Let's see. If I wanted to use gray, I think if I went with this gray, I would have a lot more definition to the half square triangle. But let's try some other combinations. I got out this for like the background, and a green, and those are great. There's a great high definition, so they definitely, the image will pop. It won't blend away like it would in this combination. You know, this would be a very blendy, it would have very little definition. A lot of work, but no prize at the end. So what about the red and with the background that has a little bit of yellow? Now, of course, you could use your actual background fabric, you know, that I called background, because that is an option for you, but I'm trying to use these lights for mine. And that's a good one. This is a good one. So here's another with that same print that's got a lot going on, so it's got high, you know, light and dark in it, so it does need something that reads a bit more solid, a bit more tonal from a distance, so that it doesn't blend like this one would. So against here, it's okay, but this would sort of mush in sometimes where the white flower hit that, and you would lose the definition of the half square triangles. So what I did end up with was going something a little bit different and taking these three and then using the black in the middle, because I just wanted to make that a little bit different and show you that you don't have to follow this format exactly. You can play around with the color and change it up. So that is what I did there. Now the other thing I did was use my AccuQuilt to cut the triangles. You know, the AccuQuilt that I got, I have the small one. I got the little mini, which is fabulous for this size because I have a die, a triangle die that'll do this, and I also have the bigger electric one. But let me just show you on the mini, because I brought it up here. I also bought, you know, this is all new for me. My friend went to work there, and so I have gotten some cool things upon her recommendations, and so she had me get the cube, because this has a bunch of different common shapes in it. And then of course you could do it also has all these different blocks. Now what I have is, I tell you right on the pattern, a 3.5 inch half square triangle, which means that I am looking on here for a triangle die that makes a 3.5 inch, 3-inch finished, and that is number 3. So that if you have dies and you're looking at a pattern and you're looking for that shape, just find out what the shape is and what size it is, and then look for it. And you probably have a die for it, because a lot of shapes that I use in particular are very common. So let me show you how this works, how this little baby works. He's nice for the tabletop here. The other machine is a little bigger, and it needs to stay over on the other table because it's heavy too. So this guy, you bring it down, so you've got, there you go, so you've got 2 sides. You're going to end up putting everything on one side and then rolling it through, and it cuts on the other side. Now the cube box, when I took the lid off, this off, this is what you get inside. You have 2 of these units, and then this has the mat in it and a CD and directions. So when I open up this die box, you move this over here. So I open up this die box, and it's like a book, and so you have each of the dies, and it also has, you know, pattern to go with it. But I know that I'm making my pattern, and I just am looking for the shape. That's all I care about at this point. So I've got my die out, and I've got the mat. Let me show you that. And here are all the cut ones for my block. But I want to show you on another piece how this works. I'll go run it through. So you've got the die here, and it's making 2 triangles at a time, which means, here's the cool part, is that you're going to layer the fabric so that when it comes out, which I'll show you, they're already right sides together. So you're going to run it right through, the right sides together. You just pick it up and sew. The corners are trimmed off. Everything is perfect, so there's no trimming afterwards. Just awesome, 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 awesome. Now I have already, you know, you'll learn. This is the learning part, and any die cut machine is like this. Is you don't any extra. If you go and make your shapes as wide as the die, like I did here, you will have some extra waste. But you can make the shape you start with smaller. So you eventually get to the point where you like know how small you can go, and you get used to your dies. Now they are right sides together, and I will layer so that I can do 4, which so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get 2 sets here, 2, 4. Yeah, so all together. There we go, math. Okay, so I put the die, the fabric, all right sides together, so when it's cut, I'll just pick it up. And then these plastic sheets, you'll end up turning them, rotating them, because they will bend, as you'll see when they go through, which is normal, because there's rollers. Inside here, there are rollers. This is not electric at all, it's just manual, but there's rollers, and what you want to do is just push it up against the roller until as you're turning it, see it's catched. So it's caught now, and I don't have to hold on to it. My hands are hand-free. I just roll it right through and out the other side. So there's super simple, and let me bring it in. Okay, when I lift this off, I will have all four cut. So there's 2 half square triangles to make here, and 4 cut here, so 2 half square triangles to make here. And then I have this is my waist. So you can see I can get even more frugal once I learn how to do this and get a little bit tighter, but I'll probably just chop these off and put them in for my crumb blocks because it's not too bad. All right. That is how the little guy works. On another day, I will fire up and move my camera equipment over to the electric one and show you that, maybe this week. As I got a great die for doing a whole bunch of 2.5-inch squares, and I'm very excited to try that. And that is with the bigger machine. That doesn't work with this little machine because he's small. He only takes this size, the tiny ones. Fun, 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 right? Okay, let's put this up on the wall. Let it go with the other ones. Now, I don't necessarily have to put these in the order that I make them. So generally, there we go. So generally when I have doing these sampler blocks, I will do a few of them, and then I may start setting them, and then I may wait actually all the way till the end. Now, I have not auditioned any sashings on them yet because I want to probably make more of them until I get to that point and decide what I want to do. And also I bought backing fabric, so I could make all the sashings the same as my backing fabric. So that's always an option for me because I have enough of that. But there they are. They look good. So I have a mail call. I just have this gorgeous card from Joanne with a lovely present inside. Thank you, mwah, Joanne. This was just so sweet and incredible of you. I just love the card and love your note you wrote in it. Greg and I thank you so much. Mwah. Mail calls are the best. Okay, another good thing, another best thing, a couple of them, is the charity auction. I know Kimberly is going to do a wrap up at some point, unless I missed it. If I missed it, let me know. But she will do something for the Make-A-Wish charity. And I have to tell you, I have to thank whoever bid and won. Thank all of you that bid on my quilt. All of you. Thank you, thank you. My quilt was made with Morrison Park, my fabric line. And the bidding went up to $1,600. Ding, 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 ding. That is amazing. Plus all the other quilts were bid on, and all the money that you donated for all of you sewing along to Make-A-Wish. She will give you the final numbers, Kimberly will, at the Fat Quarter Shop at some point, and then we'll be able to determine. She'll have a guess about how many wishes that can grant, but it's going to be a good one. This has been a really, really good year. Yay! Another thing, speaking of the Fat Quarter Shop, there is a super exciting new event going to come out August 23rd. It is Cross Stitch University. I love this. The project is so cute. It's this cute project. The pattern is free. So if you want to sew along, cross stitch along, maybe you haven't cross-stitched in a long time, or you want to sort of get some new tips, or you just love it and you love cross-stitching with the community. I will be cross-stitching. I've got my stuff coming because I'm going to use all of the things that they have. So the links are down below. While you're there, hit subscribe. Mwah. Then we got over 60,000 here at YouTube now. Yes, 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 we're on our way to a plaque. You know, I get a plaque at 100,000. So if you have friends that haven't signed up, have them sign up. It's free. All right, so here's my sail away. We still have a few more days in July, so I'm working on the sail away, because that means in August I'll have to be doing my August monthly and the university project, and then in between those two I'll do more on the sail away. So I found a huge boo-boo. I'm still a baby cross stitcher, and so like I don't even notice this stuff for a little while. It's like having a block turned wrong in your quilt. So I am not taking it out. So here is, see this? I don't know what I was doing there. I must have got started and whatever. So the only thing I could do is I could do one of two things. I could unpick this side and make it match that and have all four of them, because I am going to do the chain on the bottom too, and I'm going to make this into a pillow. One of our friends made it into a pillow there, and it was so cute. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick a cute button there on top of that and call it done. And this side, it won't be exactly centered, but it is a pillow for me, and I will be happy with it, and I'm not unpicking any of that. So that is it. All right, my friend. You're going to go make, oh, where'd my block go? You're going to go make a invitation block, invitation to the soiree. And if you have been part of a fun invitation, have sent a fun invitation, if you have a picture of it, share it when you share your block at the same time. Don't share it randomly by itself, because people get confused. They don't know why, and then they report the post to me. So do it when you do your block. Okay, my friend, I love you. Mwah. See you online.